But, you know, none of that has to do with Christianity, because none of it was there. It was just adopted, adapted. People liked it. We put a star on the top of ours. You could put an angel or a Joe.
Kangaroo.
Yeah, baby kangaroo, Joey.
Oh.
But even in all of that, you know, one of the problems is that we get lost in it all. It starts to become about getting to the stores and buying all the presents, and did you get all the cards out in time, and should we send a card to this person this year? They haven't sent us one in 3 years, and this person sent us a card, but I really don't like them that much. Do I have to send them a card back? But every year, Sherry says, no, she's my sister. You know. Throwing the Christmas cheer yet?
I have your name this year.
Oh.
Yeah, but you don't have my name. What do I care?
Oh. I think we got 20.
Then it becomes about all the other stuff you have to get done and worry about and take care of. And you got to get to the school concerts and the school plays and the nuts are out on the streets. Speaking of the nuts out on the street, I was driving through Easton the other day, and there was two people dressed up as Mr. and Mrs. Gingerbread Person. I'm not sure why. They were actually ignoring traffic when I went by. They were talking to each other. They had a sign up with print this big. And you're going by at 35 miles an hour in traffic. By the time I went, hey, there's a gingerbread couple, I had no time to see what their sign said. I have no idea what they're advertising, but talk about the nuts on the road out there. In all of it, it gets lost. It gets lost what this whole time of year was about. That's one reason why Judaism has worked so hard for Hanukkah to be quiet. It's just a quiet little moment. And mostly it's a quiet moment, 8 days in a row, that you spend with your family. You don't go anywhere, you don't do anything, and you don't exactly invite all of the family in for it. That also kind of varies, depends on how close everybody lives. Some people have all the family in for the first day's lighting today, or some will have them in for the last day's lighting. Some will have, if everybody lives nearby and gets along, everybody shows up for every day's lighting. But it's really about gathering your family together, being surrounded by the ones you love, that love you. And then saying to God, thank you for the blessings. Not for the miracles. That's something that's often missed. People say, well, it's about the miracle of the flame. No, it's not. That was the basis behind it, but that's not what Hanukkah is about. It's about saying thank you that I have a house to light this in. Thank you that I have food. I may not have everything I want, but thank you for what I do have. It might be nice if all the family could be here, but thank you for the family that is here. It's about being grateful. And that's something that seems to get lost. Being grateful. Being grateful for all the tiny, tiny little things in life. Because that's so important. Again, that's why they make sure it's small, practical gifts that you're supposed to get. You don't get a car. You get a good dress shirt. So that you're not sitting there going, wow, look at all of this I got. You're saying, thank you. That's a very important part of it. Thank you. Well, we all tend to lose sight of that throughout the year. And it's a shame that it takes place just once a year, that we stop, if we're lucky. We show our gratitude for things. That we thank God for the blessings in our lives. That we thank each other for the blessing in our lives. The blessings you bring. Because it would be a vastly different world if people kept that in their mind. But at least we do have some chance to teach it, don't we? And to remind ourselves. I'll tell you my one fault, my one failing. When the computer doesn't do what it's supposed to do, you're best to just leave the house. Really. Because it upsets me. I know it upsets me. I allow it to upset me to a degree. I mean, I would never destroy the monitor because then I got to pay good money for a new one. And I know that at a few minutes, I'll calm down. And then I'll think of how dumb I'm being. Here I've got a computer. Yeah, maybe it's not doing exactly what I want it to do at that moment, but for the most part it does great. Why, there are starving children in India that would love to have a computer. Because then they could start a telemarketing scam and earn money for food. That's all, I know. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, goodness.
But for the most part, I do try to remind myself of all the blessings that life provides. All the blessings that are in my life. Because I find when I remind myself of these blessings, my life is so much better. I'm so much happier. Things go so much easier, smoother. So once in a while, I skip off the rails. I get back on. And to tell you the truth, I'm even grateful for those moments. Because they remind me, gotta start counting your blessings again. Now, if you see a menorah somewhere, it won't just be an oddly shaped candelabra. And you won't sit there wondering, why is it that there's 4 to one side and 4 to another side? It's the 8 days that the light stayed lit in the temple. And you won't wonder, why is one in the middle usually taller or shorter? Because technically it's not part of the menorah, it's the shamash, the guardian, the servant. The one you actually accidentally read by. And you'll know the purpose behind it. Thank you, God, for all that we have. And though we are not Jewish, it's a good lesson to learn.